Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to splice this into the other video or not. We're drawing Ultron. I just recorded a thing right before this, but then I couldn't find my gloves. Because we're painting this with cadmium colors, or cadmiums. Really orange, red, something along those lines. And I did not want to be jacking around with toxic chemicals or toxic whatevers without gloves on. So, here they are. So we are drawing Ultron. I have him in this pose. He's kind of sitting down. I hope you can see this all very clearly. Anyway, so what we're starting with here is raw sienna, which is not toxic. My palette is just a plastic CD case. I saw Jeff Miracola using this on a video, and I was like, yeah, we're doing that. Because that's much cheaper than buying, like, god dang it. Hold on. This thing is kind of busted. I might have to, oh god. So I'm trying to open a thing of linseed oil right now, and straight from the store, this thing was stripped. So I have to, like, pop the cap off, pop a cap in it, and dip into here. And this is just to thin down the paint into sort of a wash. Let's put the cap back on. Also non-toxic. I like using linseed oil instead of turpentine. Or not instead of, but you know what I mean. So I just want to lay down like a warm hue. So since I explained all this in the video I did previously, but, so you can see I'm like thinning this out. By the way, I'm pretty new to oils, so please don't watch this as like an oil tutorial, but this is just kind of a draw along thing. Kind of want a larger brush for this. Just sort of wanting to get the general idea of what's going on in here. Don't love that it's spreading around, but I do want to kind of seal the drawing off a little bit. So this is fast drying raw sienna that I'm using. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, so I gessoed this card that I'm doing right now with acrylic gesso, pretty standard. And that's just to prime it for the painting that I'll be doing on this card. And this is just, if you're wondering where to get like blank cards, this is for Magic, or this isn't for Magic the Gathering. This is for my friend who wants a token for his commander for Magic the Gathering. It's a type, or it's a special, a commander is like a special format in Magic. I'm just trying to get this like golden here. Don't want to get too dark. This is probably fine. Anyway, he wanted Ultron as his token, his spirit animal. And over here I'm using like a odorless turpentine. I can smell it though. I can smell it. Little concerned about that, but it's okay. Placing the cap back on, it should be fine. I'll only lose a few brain cells inhaling this. Alright, so don't need that to dry. I do want to go to sort of a blue, a darker color. I'm gonna get some turquoise out. I think I'm gonna be utilizing that. Let's put some cools up here. Let's just fill our palette with random things. See, I already got paint on me. See, this is why you use gloves. Some purple. Should probably clean these off before I close the cap on them. Before I bust a cap. Let's get some... You don't think I need a lot of earth tones in this one. Basically just metallic stuff. I do want to get the primaries out there, because I will be mixing some gray. So I got two types of blue. I probably should have put them together. I don't think I want... Do I want green? Probably not. Probably want a little bit of brown. Van Dyke brown is really good for shading. Put that with this other earth tone. And definitely some white. Get the white out here, a lot of it. I'll show you my palette in a second. And, oh crap, what did I put down? Iridescent white. Oh, I don't want iridescent white. I put down the correct white. Put down titanium white. So that's my palette so far. I will be putting on some brilliant red. Didn't I have cadmium? I have cadmium orange is what I have. So I'll be using both of those definitely. Some cadmium orange. I put way too much on there, but it's okay. It's only a total waste of everything. And then it's bright red right next to it. Blip, blip. Okay. So I think I have pretty much everything I will be using here. Perhaps I'll use yellow ochre. It's slightly brighter than my raw sienna that I put down earlier. Let's put it over here. Doesn't look brighter. Certainly doesn't look brighter, but it is. Here's the yellow ochre, and then there's the raw sienna. They look like the same thing, but it goes on a lot different. So I think I'm pretty happy with the palette right now. Let's get into it. We're using pretty straight out of the thingy colors, and I'm just kind of dipping into the turpentine, the odorless turpentine here. It'll thin my paints, give it a kind of iridescent look. So right now I'm interested in shading this, and I know that there's going to be like glowy crap coming from the eyes, and I'll have a little bit of a bright, and I didn't have the correct too much turpentine. I don't have the correct blue for the background. I'll have to mix it. It won't be quite as bright as I want, but it's okay, really. Let's get down. Ooh, this is smelly. I'm gonna be crazy at the end of this video. So you can see I'm kind of scraping off some of this. This is just the turpentine doing its job, thinning out stuff. I'll want to use this just kind of straight. Dip into that phthalo blue. Start mixing that onto the paper. I tend to just, my painting style is a bit of like grab all the colors that look correct and just layer them on. They'll mix themselves on the paper. I don't really tend to grab the local color unless it's a light, because basically everything reacts to the light hitting it. And the light will just be the color that it is. My computer went dead. I really need the reference for Ultron here. Sorry. Okay, so what I can do here, I actually need to grab, what do I need to grab? I can do a couple different things. I am going to add, I need to add yellow to the palette for a reason. What do I have? This is really bright yellow. Well, no option. So I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow to the palette. You'll see why in a second. And I'm also going to add green to the palette. So it's this Terra Verte. Get that on there. It doesn't really matter if it's touching the thinner over there. Kind of drying out anyway. Did I mention I was using oils? I think it's kind of obvious, but whatever. So basically what I can do now, I have the option of mixing the three primaries. So blue here, is that in the picture? All right, so I'm mixing blue, red, this is a really bright red to be mixing in there, but I'm doing it anyway. The red's sort of being overpowered, red, and you can see I'm already getting a purple here. And now I'm gonna split this. Still two blue. All right, so they're kind of the same purple. And then I can mix green into one, green into one, and get one kind of black. It's basically gonna be the same thing on both sides. Yeah. I thinned it too much, but, and yellow into the other. It's basically the same thing. Just overpowered the crap out of that. So I got like a really green looking thing because the blue is mixing with the yellow. So basically I just need a lot more red in this one. It's too bright. Yeah, it'll give you like a brown or a gray, and that's what I'm shooting for, is a gray of some sort. That's more gray. Okay, and so now I have a gray and I have like a black option. It's ending up bluish. Kind of want to see it on a white background, so I need more red in this one as well. green. See, basically the red and blue mixed to make purple. In this the green version, red and blue mixed to make purple, and then red and green mixed to make brown, like a neutral. So it makes it really dark brown. But basically, like, I'm gonna plop that on here, and that's gonna be my black. And I can use that all over the place, willy-nilly. Willie Nelson. It gives sort of a purpley tone as well. Hold that for a second. Kind of try to blend these in. Just lift it up and move it around. Add some texture. Yeah, this is a really chaotic way to go about painting, I realize. But I don't know, this is just sort of the way I enjoy doing it. I think it adds a lot more life to it and a lot more uniqueness to it, rather than going in and just like doing exact colors. You can do that, like it's a much more realistic way to go about it. I just like doing everything that's not a local color. It's like the reflect, like all the light sources hitting it. Shaking the crap out of the camera. It's good stuff. You'll be able to see in a second there's some stuff I need to make orange here. So I'll basically need to scrape away portions of what I already put down, and that's fine. It's doable. It's kind of blocking in the shapes right now. I'll be able to go back in because I put down this undertone of gold, basically, or like a light yellow. I will be able to go back in and just scrape off whatever I want light, and it will scrape off entirely because it's all wet on top. I can even go in and draw like textures with the back of a brush or something. There's the section I need to scrape off. I'll probably just use my hand. It's more effective. Just my nail underneath. Get that off, get that off. Seems fine. Round that out. That jaw in there. It's starting to look like Ultron a little bit. I'm a fan of this already. I don't want to wait too long to throw down some of the like light sources that are supposed to be coming in here. So I want that, we can start with yellow, I guess. Oops. My brush is a little dirty. So we can start to put down like yellow in here. And whoopsie daisy. Hold on, my computer went off again. Okay. And I put a big paint mark across my light here. That's neat. Yellow over here, yellow over there, with your hands in the air, shake a derriere. So he's just like on fire. He's on freaking fire. And then we'll get into red over here. Mostly it's orange. Let's see. Need it to be reflecting off of this surface. This one as well. We can actually go in and lift some of these out. If we want them to be lighter. Didn't scratch that out in exactly the right spot. So wash off my brush, go back in with that black. Scratch it out a little bit better. Just do it like this. And that's just the back of my brush. Again. I'm just getting some cool mixing happening by dabbing. just gonna make the chair he's sitting in brown at this point. Put some orange in there. Light. Okay, this needs to be bright yellow inside these eyes. Bright yellow out here. Starting to refine the how the light actually comes off. And now we can actually kind of scrape away to detail. Which is a pretty cool part about working with this technique. So I'm just using the colorless turpentine to get that effect, where you can just kind of wipe away to reveal what's under it. So this is similar to scratching out, but it's a little bit more exact, I feel. Put some more of that black on for this thing. Sort of want to get some of this detail in. Part of how that's going to happen is mixing this phthalo blue with the white. Getting a cool blue color and hinting in these accents. Getting it up top of this chair. Just need to make it clear that there's another light source coming in. It's going to help detail all of this. I might consider actually just using that turpentine to do the work for me. You can see I'm getting that cool metallic look here. darken this area in by his collarbone. Get some phthalo blue in there. My computer went dead again. Hold on. Okay. I'm not super happy with what's going on in the background. I'm almost tempted to just wipe it all off. Whoops. Like maybe get this kind of sparse. Almost make it cloudy back here. Just want it to be more atmospheric, you know? Sort of don't even want this chair. Wipe that all off. Completely undo the painting. There is a Control Z when working with oils. Its name is turpentine. I'm overusing it though in some spots. It's actually cracking in here, and that's just when it dries with the turpentine. When the turpentine leaves it, it's like pooling in these areas, and the pigment, I assume, is the one that's like, we have like an evaporating substance and a substance that wants to cling to itself and stay solid. So it's just like try to get this real dry. In the meantime, I can actually use this. Just wipe all that crap away. Okay, now I kind of want to go back in with this actual paint here. I'm getting some cool strokes that I like in here. I'm just gonna leave those. It's like smoke. I like it. I'm actually not even painting with the brush right now, I'm painting with the glob of paint on it. The tops of these in red. Just any part where it starts to feels like it should be a little bit darker or start to cool off. I'm gonna get in red. All that area. And we could even, I could see maybe brown seeping into these parts. And this especially. Again, going in with that turpentine brush. See if we can't dig to a lighter color. Well, I can just blend it, that works too. So basically what I did there was I have very thick paint on the paper or on the card right now. And that allowed me to go in with that like slightly damp turpentine brush. So what I'm doing here, now you can actually see in the camera, I'm just dabbing it on this, and I got it pretty dry, but it still had the turpentine on there. Cause see, I can still scrape away here. Just want to be sure I can see everything that I want to see here, which would include, let's get this nice and bright. I want to be able to see his chest, like all the curvature of everything, you know, and get nice and smooth. And I can keep just kind of running it over the same area to get it to smooth it out, just bring other colors into it. And pull it away. away. Every time I load up on turpentine, it's going to be a lot. It's going to dig a lot more. I can pick colors up from different areas and pull them into other areas of the paper. Scumble around a little bit lightly to get better tones. I'm getting the form a little bit better here. Happy with that. I want to get a little bit darker here. My computer went off again. Hold on. So I do want to try and get to like a brighter feel here, brighter feel here. So I'm just digging in that turpentine brush. I can pull some of the oranges in, blend it. I really want to, crap. I need to get in here as well. This is kind of a main part. Let's dig that out first, I guess. You don't really need to scrub. I just started scrubbing out of habit, I guess, because of watercolor. You do need to scrub. You need to like overwork the paints to pull them off. And I work with watercolor mostly when I'm doing traditional stuff. Let's get this nice and dry as we're picking up now. Orange. I want it to go on nice and bright. Again, dry it off, pick up yellow, put it on there, a little bit thicker. And get the red, which I'm actually just going to grab from over here. Don't need a palette. Got it right here, got it right on the paper. Make this red as well over there. So go back in with the turpentine brush. Pretty dry. Actually, I want to drag this down in here. really dry, grabbing paints, making this mark, and I don't need to make it too delicate. I just need to round off the head. Grab that turpentine brush again. I really need to get this to stick out. He has fins. Reveal that again. Get that fin in. Get that fin in. Make this brighter. Really, if nothing else, like, you can just go in here and blend the colors a bit and it'll fit. It feels like it fits better, you know? This a little bit drier. I actually want to pick up the turpentine that I just put down. And then just kind of scumbling in detail here. There's sort of lines like this, or structure on his head, sort of like this, rings. Oops, really didn't want to put blue inside that part. I'll just scrape it off. Turpentine, man, that's what I'm saying. Overuse the crap out of it. It's doing that cracking thing again, but we can always allow that. Just gives some texture. And blending this crap. This is looking pretty sick. I don't want it to crack everything. I'm going to go back in and detail this. Let's get the edge. Get the edge. I'll allow cracking everywhere else. Get my paint. Get that dark, get that real dark. Bring it around. Just putting a spike in here just kind of for the composition. And I think I'm just going to try this off a little bit, come back in, almost done. Just wanted to get a little bit more detail here. pull off some more right beneath. Well, actually, I could make this brighter. This brightens it up. This is why we put yellow at the bottom of everything, the raw sienna. Scrape it back up. Let it shine through. Now I'm just picking up whatever I want to be like really bright highlights, and I do want a few of them because he's metal. Ultron is metal. Almost like a chrome, actually. It's actually kind of a... Let's see if I can get this in here. Seems fine. So close, yet so far. Okay, let's get this really clean. Yeah, I just don't want the brush to be too wet touching the paper. It will cause it to do more of that cracking. Just don't want to add too much turpentine to the equation. Mostly want to be lifting off here, and it dries really quick, so basically just get a little bit on there and it's gonna do the job. Let's see what it looks like. You can always tape it back up. Actually, before we see what it looks like, let me see if I can get in the eyes here. I think they could stand to be not only blended, but also brightened. Blended and brightened. And it's doing that cracking stuff, so I'm probably being a little bit too generous here. Just dabbing for texture on this fire. You don't want it to be like uniform streaks. That's no good. Just grabbing more of my purple. black purple. So it's interesting just going back, reiterating how well all three primaries, or alternatively adding green instead of yellow, will make your, like, I mean, this is, I basically used it for the whole thing, and I could mix a little bit more blue into it to like just give the hint of metal, and it worked. I'm actually starting to get a headache from the fumes here, so we're gonna call it like we sees it. And actually, real quick, this is supposed to be, oh god, I'm gonna vomit. Okay, feeling okay. Just needed to take a moment to breathe. I just wanted to do that, like etch out that area. And I will be touching it up tomorrow when it dries. But for right now, I need to clean up this area and be done with it because I am going to puke. So, let me get the computer on and let's see what we got. I should not have taken my gloves off yet, but whatever. Let's peel this off. Nice crisp edge, I like it. Put a lid on our turpentine. Peel this off. Good stuff. Don't roll into my painting brush. I will mess you up. And then the last one. I would say we got a pretty successful Ultron out of the deal. Can we see that? Can we? Hold on. I don't know if it'll put it on autofocus to see if it'll do any better, but pretty decent, I'd say. Okay, good stuff.